Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Mxbikes video, and welcome back to the channel. If you are not already subscribed, please do so now. Today, Mxbikes history was made. And yes, before you go crazy, it's available right now on Mxbikes shop for $4. Now, yes, is it more of I would say a little bit of an expensive track compared to most? Yes, but as you guys can tell, this is not just one track. This is a absolute groundbreaking, biggest collaboration track / compound, I guess, if you will, that we've ever seen in this game. And truthfully, this is exactly what Mxbikes has needed. This is the kind of stuff that's going to save this game and keep it around for a long, long time. So right here, if you really break it down, the $4 doesn't really hurt or break the bank when you realize you're actually getting 6 different tracks in one compound. JV, MX Park, absolutely insane. Those of you unfamiliar with JV, he is the one that was creating many tracks into this game, including the MXGP rounds. This track here has enduro cross, has 2 supercross tracks, an enduro loop, 2 MX tracks. I mean, and just the amount of detail in this track is absolutely phenomenal. The noises, the road connecting from both entries and exits of the track. I mean, absolutely groundbreaking stuff. Amazing partnerships with Star Racing Yamaha, Cole Davies, Justin Bogle, Pierce Brown. I mean, Aaron Plessinger. Absolutely insane to have all of these collaborators on board for something in the virtual MX gaming world. Is absolutely epic to see from the game. And I mean, the details that they put into this game and this track, absolutely mind-blowing. So I'm going to show you around here today. As you can tell, I mean, absolutely insane. The detail, the graphics, the noises. I mean, the bodies of water, the highway scenery with moving cars on it. I mean, this is just kind of stuff that we just don't see. We've never really seen much of this before, and just the texture details, and to have it all compacted into such a small file size for such a huge compound like this is really groundbreaking stuff. So, I mean, absolutely sick. I'm blown away. I'm absolutely speechless. This is the first time this track literally released about, I would want to say, 30 seconds before I started shooting the cinematics for this video. And as you guys can tell, look at the sign. Look at how many tracks there actually is. Everything is arrowed to get you there. All the people involved right there to the left side of the chart. And, since Star was one of the big supporters here in this track, we're going to do none other than hop on what we're comfortable with, and that's going to be my Star Racing Yamaha 250F. Now, before we get started here, I will tell you, first things first, this track is very catered to a 450. If you're really good on a 250, I'm sure you can make it work. As most of you know, if you're unfamiliar, I am a Pro-Am racer on the 250s, so I never really shy away from 250s, just so I don't get messed up as we try to work through the ranks of the amateur competitive scene and work our way closer to that 450. So I don't like anything to potentially throw me off and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to trim up this video as much as possible because, mind you, there's going to be some mistakes, guys. I have not pre-rode this track. I'm not trying to show you guys how good I am at the game and how I can hot lap every single track that's on here. That's not the point. I wanted to get this video out to you guys to inform you about something that's just never been done before in this game. And, months and months and months of this project that has gone into this. And, Reaper Doc, everything you've done in the community, been absolutely awesome. And, stop giving this guy so much hate on social media. I really can't stand seeing it. And, having somebody like around my age as well doing content for this game, and, just support the guy, man. He's doing things that have never been done in this game. I mean, these kind of partnerships and the things that RD is doing for all of us here at Mxbikes is absolutely epic. So, without a further ado, we're diving right in here. As you can see, really struggling. We can't seem to even get around this enduro cross track, and of course we're gonna get the famous Poboso physics, but we're gonna skip that little part there. But I mean, look at the textures, look at how everything actually pieces together here. It's absolutely epic. The track is absolutely insane. Very, very, very difficult compound. I can assure you that this will probably be the place that I will be training on from now on, because I just feel like this has something for everybody at it. So the enduro cross, as you guys can see here on the lap as I was ranting, absolutely insane, very 450 catered, and very rough, really awesome practice for those of you who are really into enduro cross. So right here, the next track, like I said, very 450 catered, but everything, of course, is rideable. We're going right into what they're calling the sand pit. And as you guys can tell by the trackside branding, this one was supported by Verb Moto. Those of you unfamiliar and if you didn't grow up racing motocross or any dirt bike in general, any form of racing, you should be familiar with Verb Moto. But those of you who are not, it was probably Verb Moto was some of the best, most nostalgic videos produced on YouTube were from them. They did a lot of any kind of amateur coverage, and I mean, I was following Verb Moto since literally the beginning of time. I literally used to live on the edits. They actually had I believe they had a Verb off-road team as well who did coverage for what I was racing at the time, GNCC, and more of the hare scramble type stuff, which, speaking of, is really awesome to see in this game. Me coming from a hare scramble cross-country racing background and racing professionally in that, to see that kind of stuff being incorporated into a game and a partnership and a compound this strong into the game is really good to see. I actually am very pumped on that, because a lot of you motocross kids do not give any credit to any of these Woods guys, and I'll tell you right now that a lot of you, if you any of you moto guys that ever came to go do a GNCC or something like that, most of you don't make it to the finish line. It's a lot. It's very physically demanding. It's very rough. It is they say we're the gnarliest people to ever swing a leg over a bike and ride some of this crap that some of you would say, because it is literally sometimes that bad, that brutal, and that rough. So really cool to see that incorporated into this game. And I mean, I gotta tell you, obviously I'm just one lapping everything here. I've never even seen it. This is kind of my sight lap. Absolutely epic. I mean, for a sand track to be this crazy, of course, Poboso sometimes puts a damper on that. But, obviously 250 struggles here, especially after the beta 19s, which is obviously unfortunate, but what a JV doesn't lack. I mean, he killed it with all the MXGP tracks, made them very, very challenging, and the same thing holds true right here. Sand track, absolutely insane. So many line options. I can't wait to see people racing on it and trying to hot lap it and see what kind of times come out through here, because it is absolutely insane. But guys, look at the detail here, right? So I'm going to hop right off of here. and you can just follow the signs at what track you want to hit next. So me warming up, going cold, I saw the post that it got released, and I knew I had to make a video about it. So I hurried up, spent my $4, and I got on here trying to make this video and get it out to you guys with some quality to it as soon as possible. It's also my first video with reshade installed, so hopefully that has significantly improved the quality of my videos. We've been messing around with bit rates, file sizes, hardware direct settings in OBS to give you guys all of these videos to the best of my internet and computer's capabilities. But yeah, so we are trying to get the quality as good as possible. It's just becoming harder and harder to do because I'm kind of limited to 1080, and then the bitrate gets all weird the faster we go, and it becomes very pixelated, and I'm trying to produce the highest quality content humanly possible for me and my situation right now. And yeah, the more support I get from you guys, the more I kind of spend to upgrade my system and yeah, continue to give you guys better and better content as we evolve. So as you guys can tell, we hopped right on to the national track. Now, this national track was, as you can tell by the branding, very much supported by and collaborated by with Cole Davies and the Star Yamaha Racing crew. And yes, that's IRL. Very awesome to have their inspiration or just collaboration support and have their branding on a track in a game like this. I mean, guys, those of you who don't realize how significant this is for the community and how insane this just obviously the track itself and every track that I've shown you so far is absolutely epic in itself. But not only that, but do you guys remember playing MX versus ATVs and stuff like that, and the only brand that jumped on board was KTM? Like, do you guys remember that we had no branded bikes on anything but a KTM was the only real OEM model that we had into a game that we had full support for? And you know, eventually in Alive it became a DLC and all of that. I talk about MX versus ATV because I am a 10-time champion on there, racing online, factory team racing, just a lot of different things that I have accomplished over in the console world. And then around 2018 time, I finally got a PC and joined the simulator groups over here on Mxbikes and MX Simulator. So yeah, I've been around for a while. I've accomplished some stuff. I have some world records in many video games of MX vs. ATV series. Franchise was my biggest. I actually ran a GNCC online racing series where we actually had plenty of pro riders actually in real life join and race with us a couple times, and we would host them every single week for wintertime to get us through and hype everybody up for the season that usually starts for GNCC around February, which was basically like a Iron Man hair scramble series where when we moved it, we started on Reflex. When we moved it to Alive, we kind of obviously were limited because there was no woods loops and stuff like that, like which thank God JV and Reaper have incorporated in this, which is really awesome to see, like I said, because we were doing it on MX vs. ATV Alive, and it was pretty comical. We would just do the max number of laps, and the race would go on for like an hour, and the track would be super beat up. We would try to get it as eroded as possible and make it as rough as possible to simulate the real thing. So we used and got by with what we got. So that's how I started, got out of MX vs. ATVs, well, rather quickly. Once I got a little laptop, started playing MX Simulator, and yeah, just kind of really took that pretty serious for a while. And then MX Bikes came out, and by that time I actually had a gaming PC that I had put some money into and invested in my setup. And yeah, here we are today filming record-breaking news from MX Bikes. So really cool to see. This is what I think. I'm so back and forth with this game so many times. I mean, me only having, I think I'm right around the 400-hour mark now into this game. And I do play a lot. It's just, I obviously run a business full time and race and ride in real life. So I don't necessarily just grind this game 24/7. So that's kind of the point of my channel in general, is see it from a actual racer's perspective who's actively still in the scene, and stuff like that. And that's why I feel like my channel is very different. And which, speaking of, right off the start of the MX track, the Star Racing Yamaha has sponsored, we have the official enduro loop. Now, this is freaking awesome. You use the MX start, you bang the right, and your lap starts. And how epic is this? This is so realistic. It's insane. And, a lot of times when other enduro tracks have been made in this game and so on and so forth, a lot of the objects and the rocks and stuff like that don't really matter. You can kind of skip over them. You're going to see that is not the case. I kind of skipped you and saved you the frustration there. I overshot that corner, and then Paboso didn't really allow me back onto the track. So back onto the track, I mean, and honestly, I kind of feel like I'm moving for a sight lap here. We're flying. It feels so immersive and so realistic. And this is the kind of racing that I do in real life. And matter of fact, next weekend, we officially start the racing season. Those of you unfamiliar, I did race professionally for ATVs. So I've raced dirt bikes since I was 3 years old. And a little insight about me, not that it has anything to do with this track review, but I actually ended up starting to get into racing quads with a friend of mine after the bike races. So I would race 2 hours on a bike, hop immediately onto a quad 5 minutes later, and then go do another 2 hours. You can imagine how extensive that is on your body, and that's quickly what happened to me. So around 2021, after my first year on a quad, I ended up turning pro in 2021. And yeah, I raced National B class because I just wanted to get the championship. I raced National B class to in the AMA National Hare Scramble Series on the bike. I was actually on a KTM 350. So I was traveling all over for that, for the bike class, and I stayed in the local class for the pro ATVs. So at least separating my weekends like that gave me a lot more of a fresh start to go out there and actually prove myself once I got into that front line. So very interesting little backstory on me. Long story short, unfortunately, I was kind of forced to stop after an injury and running my business and having a lot more financial responsibility now on my plate. But however, I finally got myself a little bit of health insurance, and I also went out last year and got myself a new YZ250FX. So I was without a quad for about probably 6 months, and I quickly filled the void to at least go out and get myself a new Yamaha bike and at least be able to ride with, my brother who still races dirt bikes professionally, and a lot of my buddies that do the same as well. So kind of good to still be on the scene, and looking forward to doing some action just like you're seeing here on Mxbikes in real life. Actually, by the time you're seeing this, I'm probably on the way to the track IRL. So really looking forward to getting back out there, just kind of going out and gonna go putz around in the morning race, and kind of just go enjoy being on a dirt bike in general again, because it has been since 2021. I actually ended up selling my dirt bike to help fund my professional quad career, trying to go to GNCCs to get to the XC2 and XC1 ranks, and which ultimately, unfortunately, did not happen. So it is what it is, but here we are. And I miss it every day, and that's what kind of motivates me to come on and give you an IRL racing perspective of virtual MX gaming And I feel like if anyone's going to relate to it on either way you look at it, I raced nationals on bikes my entire life and GNCCs my entire life. I've won multiple championships and so on and so forth. Not to toot my own horn here, but I feel like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to riding and simulation and stuff like that, at least enough to know what's a good game, what's a good track, and I feel like my opinion in this community of MX bikes should definitely matter. And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of times we don't get the publicity from YouTube's beautiful algorithm that I feel like we deserve. I do put a lot of time and effort into these videos each and every week, and I hope that a lot of you guys do appreciate it. And those of you who are subscribed and have feedback or are in my Discord and all of that and watch my videos till the end each week, you are the reason that I continue to come on here and make this content, and I really do appreciate all of you from the bottom of my heart. But enough about me. Look at this track, guys. I mean, the hills, the immersiveness, it's absolutely insane. Hard on the brakes on these downhills. The mud actually grabs you. The textures, the bird sounds in the trees as we just launch our bike up here. I mean, it is absolutely insane. And what's cool about enduro racing in real life, if those of you who are unfamiliar, you do not pre-ride the track. There is no practice. So I'm trying to treat it like a real enduro here, just like I am pretty much every loop that I'm showing you here, a lap on every single track. But I have no idea where this is going, and that's exactly how it would be in real life. And my mind is kind of programmed to understand that and try to judge what's coming. But obviously in a game going third gear wicked on this 250, it's a little harder to do so. But I mean, just the groundbreaking things that they've done, and knowing JV, anything he does to incorporate, say, an enduro loop in a track or something like that. This enduro loop goes through every single track that is on the game. That's in this compound, I should say. Every track it touches. So, you if you're close to the sand pit track, the terrain is sandy. Now, as you can tell, we're creeping up closer towards where the enduro cross track is, and that's why it's super rocky, super hairy, and gnarly as hell, super hilly. I mean, the fact that a track like this touches every other track that's on here with a little bridge crossover, little transfer sections, and you'll see the terrain just change as we are near each other track. So here we are getting closer to the sand pit where it's going to cross over to one of the transfer trails to go to track, and now we're in the sand. So the terrain just switches up on you and throws your physics all kind of off because, as you guys can tell, it's very realistic. And he didn't just do this to fill space in the track. I mean, he literally used every bit of material and every megabyte of pixel. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you get the point. I mean, he literally filled the entire area with probably arguably one of the best enduro loops I've ever seen in this game in my life. And the fact that we can bang laps on it and it's not overly long is even cooler. So here we are. I mean, just to show you some of the scenery, the bridges, the transfer trails. I mean, it doesn't get better than this, guys. I mean, you want a motocross simulator, you need people like JV and Reaperdoc and the collaborators all coming together and spending months on tracks. So what if it's $4? Look at what you're getting, guys. I mean, I've just never been so hyped up to see something in this game like this. I mean, this facility is absolutely insane. And, not to mention the edits and all the media that's going to come to this game because of this track is mind-blowing. We already saw it, in real life when Cole Davies mentioned MX Bikes on, I believe it was the press conference after the podium interview. when he said he wanted to deposit money into his Mxbikes account and chill and play for the rest of the night. I mean, how cool is that? So right here, we are diving into, don't mind, Paboso's finest, but this is very hard on a 250. This is going to be, I believe, the north side SX track portion of today and of the compound for the video. And I mean, it is insane. I mean, the fact that they didn't have to go off of any kind of replica or anything like that really let them to create something that is so epic. And I believe this is Pax was the collaborator, I believe, for this one. Really cool to see the support on each and every Supercross or Motocross or any of these tracks, just to see a sponsor kind of jump on board and shining light to not only this game, but kind of having their own piece into the compound is really freaking cool. And I'm not sure about all the logistics. I will leave a link in the description to Reaper Doc's video down below, where he obviously had a huge part of this project. I did not. I'm just the 250 AMS rider reviewing it. And go check his video out when he gets deeper into the explanation of basically what these collaborators did for the game or for the track, and how much influence these sponsors actually had on the game, and so on and so forth. So definitely check his video out after you let me get everything out that I have to and show you guys just how awesome this compound really is. Now, this is the South Side SX, and it looks like Aaron Plessinger had a very big part into this game. Funny backstory back to me with the whole GNCC racing. Those of you unfamiliar, that Aaron Plessinger comes from the woods. I used to race him on whenever we went to the Nationals basis. So he used to race GNCC. Yes, he was several lines ahead of me. I was racing the B class, but yes, I was racing AP back before he decided to make the switch to motocross and supercross full time. So very interesting. Very cool to see him jump on board. One of my good buddies, Ethan, is actually his mental coach and trainer. So really cool to see AP jump on board. He's always been a real one, and he'll always have my support. And it's really cool to see him in full support of a game like Mxbikes. So not going to bore you with my absolute crap garbage riding skill when I'm trying to first lap these tracks. But guys, look at this. I mean, MX track, Enduro, Sandpit, Enduro X, Northside SX, South XX. Everybody to the left of that banner has a part into this track. And just to take you guys in, I mean, I didn't want to bore you too much with my crappy one-lap riding. I wanted to get this video out. There's going to be plenty of videos if you want to see somebody absolutely grease the track, probably in the future from myself as well. But I mean, look at the detail. Look at the rust on the diamond plate that is sitting in these flagger boots. I mean, just the amount of detail. And if you really look around, the sky, the trees, I mean, everything, guys. This is some of the best work, not only that we've seen from JV, but that we've seen in the game entirely. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that you guys go spend the measly $4 to download this track. And obviously, as you guys can tell by all the hints dropped in the track, and especially around by where the Enduro track is, MTG, Motocross the Game, available soon, coming fall of 2025, available for all you console guys that maybe couldn't afford PC or don't have access to PC. There's going to be some groundbreaking stuff with Motocross the Game that hopefully will come as those guys over there from the development team keep us updated and all of that good stuff over there about that game. I'm really hoping it's not like a console spin-off version of Mxbikes. I'm really hoping it's its own game entirely and has the mod support and all of that of Mxbikes, because that would be pretty much the only thing that's ever going to top Mxbikes right now. I mean, We got the new OEMs. We're on beta 19, which made the game more realistic. Maybe slightly more frustrating, but more realistic. We have Reaper Doc and JV and other streamers and content creators collaborating with the biggest names in the Supercross and Motocross industry to bring you tracks like this. Guys, JV, the MX Park, a one-of-a-kind thing. And yes, those of you curious, the road does wrap around the entire compound. But we say our farewells till next video from the MX Park by JV compound. Absolutely epic stuff, guys. We have officially made Mxbikes history. So if you did watch till the end and you enjoyed today's video, please smash the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Mxbikes content, boys. Peace.